Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Can see everybody's coming in. It's so lovely to have you all. Good evening, hello. My name is Anna Grutzner, and I'm the head of brand and marketing for Unite Health, Australia's #1 Pilates teacher training provider. It's so lovely to have you all here. Welcome to our Pilates Pillow Talk webinar, where we sit down with incredible people doing incredible things in the Pilates industry. And today we have the pleasure of interviewing Brooke Hogan and Hannah McKimm. This incredible dynamic duo are the visionaries and the co-founders of Our Pilates, the expert physio-led online and in-person studio dedicated to transforming the way you move, feel, and live. One half of Our Pilates is Hannah McKimm. Hannah wears many hats. She's a physiotherapist, a Pilates teacher, a business owner, a wife, a mum, a Unite Health clinical Pilates graduate, and the other half is Brooke Hogan, a multifaceted entrepreneur, model, wellness advocate, social media influencer, wife, and mother. As individuals, Hannah and Brooke have incredible journeys, which they share openly and vulnerably with their community. And as a team, they are unstoppable, sharing passions in movement, balance, self-care, and well-being of both body and mind. And by being here, you not only get to learn from Hannah and Brooke, but you also get to go into the running to win a free Unite Health APPI Pilates course. The winner will be drawn and contacted tomorrow, so stay tuned and make sure you're following Unite Health and Our Pilates on Instagram to be eligible. But make sure you stick around to the end because there will be an offer for everybody who is here, whether you win that prize or not. So without further ado, I'm so pleased to welcome the incredible Hannah and Brooke.
Hi, Anna. Hi, guys.
Welcome, Hannah. Welcome, Brooke.
Thank
So
you.
lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're excited.
How is your day going so far?
Good. I had a full day with Billy, actually, so it's kind of nice to be out of the house and a little bit of fresh air. But yeah, life with a 1.5-year-old is pretty full on. So it's nice to be here and to chat with you guys.
Yeah, I had both of mine today as well. So this is the most peaceful part of my day for sure.
Oh, I love that. Well, it's an honor to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And before we get started into all of the questions around your business, you two as a duo, I would love to hear how you two first met.
So we actually met because Hannah was giving me physio. I was training for a marathon at the time. And I had a few injuries, and someone actually reached out and said, "You need to go see Hannah. She's the best physio." Blah, blah, blah. So I made an appointment, and yeah, Hannah was treating me for some physio to try and help me along my marathon journey. And yeah, we sort of realized that we had a lot of mutual friends and things in common. Both loved running and Pilates, and yeah, we just sort of got chatting, and it was just a really natural kind of friendship that evolved just from Han giving me physio.
Oh, wow, so beautiful. I mean, that makes a lot of sense as well.
Yeah.
And what inspired you both to start Our Pilates?
Yeah, well, it was just like the meeting of, the two of us when we'd have great chats when Han was giving me physio. It was just before lockdown, COVID, obviously in Melbourne, and I was training for said marathon and got spun into some lockdowns. And in order to keep progressing with my training and making sure that I was trying to be injury free, Hannah was so kind. She was like, "Oh, film you some videos so you can sort of, keep your strength up whilst you're not allowed to kind of visit me in person." So I was waking up every day and doing these amazing classes that she was giving me. And it was obviously such a tragical time in Melbourne here. And it was something that I really looked forward to every day. I'd wake up, I'd do these classes, and I was feeling so much better every single time that I'd do a class. And I thought, why don't I share this with my community? It was bringing me so much happiness, so much joy, maybe I can make some other people feel really good about themselves at a really hard time. And I was sharing these videos that Han was creating for me, and I was getting these messages being like, that's the best Pilates class I've ever done. And I love Han, she's amazing. And it kind of, yeah, it was just so organic. I just sat there and Han and I had a chat, and I was like, my community absolutely love your classes. You know, I was obviously obsessed with her classes and the way that she could really engage a muscle that I didn't know that I had. And then we were like, there's an opportunity here to showcase what Han can do and to really help other women move their bodies and enjoy moving their bodies like I was. And it just literally, we were just like, let's do it. Like, let's try and film some videos and get this out to the world. And we wore many hats in the beginning, and here we are.
Yep, still wearing many hats.
Yes.
Different hats. More hats. Yeah, wow. Well, what an incredible thing to come through a very dark time for many people. I think it was such a great way to just give people that daily dose or that weekly dose of well-being of their body, of their minds. So it's such a beautiful thing that just came to life organically by the sounds.
It was a nice way to connect with people as well when you couldn't see people, like to be able to share a class. And I was filming classes for my girlfriends as well. And it was just, I don't know, I really enjoyed doing it. And so, yeah, it just felt like a really fun and exciting thing that we could do together.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think between you have very unique skill sets and backgrounds. You know, Hannah as a physio, Brooke as a model and social media influencer. How do you feel like these backgrounds sort of came together to support you in building the brand and building the business?
Well, if anyone has seen any of those classes, you will notice that the production quality has changed quite significantly. At first, I didn't know anything. I've got a girlfriend who is pretty tech savvy, and she talked me through how to, video and upload it to YouTube and that kind of thing. But I was very rusty in terms of putting together an actual video, putting together a class I could do. But so yeah, I think things like that, where Brooke has quite a natural eye for like design and that kind of thing, which I just don't have. And my background being more as a physio and a Pilates instructor, it's generally pretty clear cut what our roles are in terms of our skills. So it's pretty clear that I come up with the classes and anything to do with that side of things falls under my hat. And then Brooke, who's already launched another business in the past, and is so much more familiar with marketing and building up a business and creating a brand and getting a brand out there. She's also really good at doing website things and speaking to random people on Upwork to make sure that the tech side of things runs properly. So yeah, a really different sets of skills, but we always are so aligned in where we want things to go. So we come at things from really different angles, and it's amazing because I can get really bogged down in
details
and how to make that class like even better, and Brooke's much better at thinking about what the broader community might want and what would actually be more beneficial to our members and our community. So yeah, we come at things from really different angles, but I don't think we've ever disagreed on anything really.
We always sort of have the same idea, and if we've got a question and we both put out an answer, it's always along the same lines. And I think that's really kind of rare in a business relationship as well. Like, we just really align on our values and what we want for the business. And I think that's what's been so great to have from the get-go, to really kind of help us succeed, is just we're just so aligned on everything, and we get along so well as well, which is it's so great.
It's really nice.
It's really nice. But very different skills. Hannah's a spreadsheet queen. I wouldn't even know how to start one.
Oh, it really is the perfect balance, right? Like having sort of the big picture, the details, the client experience in the studio and in the classes, but then as well online. And you've obviously got this big digital community. So it feels like you're really able to nurture every part of your brand and your business between the two of you. You can definitely feel that from the outside.
Yeah, thank you. I think as well, like we've just both been, if there is something that we both can't do, we just sort of sit down and we're like, okay, how can we fix this? What can we do? I think we're both problem solvers as well. And when you own a small business, you do, as we've said, have to wear so many hats. So if it's something that we're both a bit like, wow, I don't know the answer to this, we're just like, okay, what do we need to do to kind of push through this hurdle or figure out the answer? And I think with the two of us kind of having that nature, it really just does help us when, we kind of hit a roadblock or something's difficult or whatever. So it's good. We're very lucky.
Yeah, for sure. And is it just the two of you involved as you're saying this? I wonder, like, do you sort of, if you are in those situations where you're like, oh, what do we do here? This is new, this is foreign. Do you have trusted people that you can speak to or a wider team?
It's really just us. We've got a wonderful girl who helps us with our social media and
email marketing.
She's amazing. But when it comes to the business, this is it. It's just us. We don't have a team.
Amazing.
We outsource things, like there's, if we need a web developer or something like that, we'll kind of reach out to people, but it's just the two of us really. And get consultants here and there if we need someone to kind of help us execute something that we don't know how to do.
Yeah, very happy to ask. But we don't really have like a go-to, like a mentor or anything like that at this stage.
Which would be good.
We'd like that. It'd be nice.
Well, I'm sure there are many people out there dying for you to be their mentors. So and I would love to ask, you've spoken a bit about the challenges of juggling your work with motherhood. How do you feel as mothers and business owners? What are the kind of main challenges that you're facing when you're juggling work with family, with life, with all of these hats and roles that you wear?
Yeah, I feel like it's something that we both really, it's probably the hardest part of running a business, I would say, is we're both mums, obviously, Hannah of two, me of one, and trying to find that balance is really, really difficult. I would say Billy's 20 months now, and as much as I'm in a good rhythm and I'm kind of, have set working days and things like that, it's still really, really hard. And we sort of sit down at this exact table when we have our long meetings and we think if we had more time, we could execute all of these amazing ideas and things that we want to do. But we are torn between spending time in this business that we absolutely love and adore, but also wanting to be present for our kids as well. So it is that juggle of trying to kind of give both your everything, but kind of speaking from my experience, kind of just feeling like, you're always giving one thing a little bit more than the other and kind of feeling a bit off balance. So I think for the two of us, it's just, we have our days where we're together. We have a day where we're both offline. We're completely with our kids. We're not contactable. And that's really important for us to kind of separate that time so we can ensure that we are ticking all those boxes that make us happy. But I think it's every working parent, it's a juggle. And I don't think it's something that I've tried to tell myself, it's not something that you ever get right. It's just going to be something that's always evolving. Some weeks you'll feel good about it. Some weeks you'll feel crappy about it. And I think that's just the nature of it. And especially with a small business and growing families, you kind of don't know what's around the corner. So just being adaptable and, if I'm need to do something and go offline, Han's always there to kind of pick up the pieces and vice versa. And I think it's really important to have the two of us as a team to kind of have that sort of set up because life throws things at you and sometimes you can't always get to a meeting or do what you want to do because kids are there. So it's definitely a work in progress for me personally, for sure.
Always. I'd say it's the first time I've been so aware that if I want to do this, it means I won't be able to do something else. Like it's really like, it's like everything's at capacity. So if you want to put something else in, you've got to take something else out. Which pre-kids, it was kind of like, I'll just jump on my laptop at night or like squeeze it in or get it done. Whereas, with definitely with two, like there's not really those extra times to squeeze things in. So you've got to be really time efficient. But as Brooke said, like things just come up and So you can plan as best as you possibly can, but you have to really adapt. And I've become a lot better at being like, okay, well, that just maybe isn't going to happen this week. Is it the worst thing in the world if we do it next week or next month or whatever? So, yeah.
And also we've kind of just realized saying no when you need to say no. We're such yes people, and we are so passionate about the business. Every opportunity that comes our way, we're always like, that's amazing, like let's do it. And for the first few years we really did, and we kind of probably put ourselves under, which I think was probably great for the business in the early days, because doing all of those things and getting our name out there was really important. But I think now that we've both got children, we have to sort of sit down and go, okay, what makes sense for the business and for our time, and kind of learning how to say no, or as Han just said, like find another time to fit something in, not overloading ourselves. So we're kind of feeling off balance, it's really hard to do, because we just want to say yes to everything, and we're always like, we can do that, we can get it done, which is a great quality, but then it ends up kind of backfiring.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's so well said. And I think so many people here will relate. And I think this is something so nice about you two, is you just share so authentically, because from the outset, it can look like you've got everything sorted and handled. And it's really nice to know that we're all human. We all have. Oh, sorry, it just cut out for a moment there. But yeah, and I think it really comes down to, like you've got those shared values, and you can always come back to those and be a team and support each other. That's such a beautiful working dynamic that you have.
Yeah, it's really special to have a business partner and a friend in this. I have often thought, because I know a lot of people do this kind of thing on their own, and I've wondered if it would be as fun and if it would even be as possible. I think sometimes the absolute power to anyone who has set up a business on their own. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it, but I feel so grateful to have Brooke there, because we can divide and conquer when we need to, but then we can also spend a whole day together working on things and bumping ideas off each other. And it's having someone there with you along the way has been really special.
I completely agree. And I have, as Han said earlier, started a business that was just me initially, and I would absolutely say the superpower to this business is, I think, that Hannah, but like the two of us together, and being able to work so well together and kind of just like really make a difference. And I think without one of us, like the business wouldn't be what it is. And it's been a really important thing for us to kind of have each other's backs and have each other's skills hand in hand. So
I know, just to add, because I think it's often not focused on, but I think it's really obvious when you do have children what that takes away from what you could offer your business, because it is, it sometimes feels like it's one or the other. And as Brooke said, that you're never giving either enough of your time. But I've learned so much about, first of all, like women and our bodies, and for a business like this that is centered around health and wellness, I'd say what I've learned probably far outweighs what having children has taken away from what I could offer this business. I feel like I can offer this business 1,000 times more value because I've had children than if I hadn't had children. So it adds a lot, as well as pulling away a lot as well. Yeah, it's both.
Absolutely. And I think it really just goes to show how your product and your offering is so authentic to you. It was really built by the experiences that you both have as new mothers, and throughout every stage of the life of a woman. You're able to speak to different bodies throughout different stages, and it really, it's so different for everyone, but a lot of those lessons are very universal and relatable, and that's what makes your product what it is. So those experiences are so crucial.
Yeah, it's nice when your target market is yourself.
Yeah, you're like, what do we need?
We've been through so many different phases of life, even since we met and started. So what we want has evolved and changed, and what Brooke wants at one particular time is different to what I want. So we've, you know, some days I feel like I am 25, other days I feel like I might be 55. So it's good to be able to we just come up with ideas with what would we want, and we ask our Facebook group and our community constantly, like what gaps, what do you want, what classes, what challenges, that kind of thing. So yeah, we're always, I guess, kind of using ourselves as what would we want to then relay that to what should we add as well.
And I think the great part about that is with your digital offering, you have this history of archives of every kind of product or offering you've ever come up with. So that's always there for people to access, as well as what you're kind of working on right now.
Yeah.
So I'd love to ask, in terms of scaling your online business, how did you transition from teaching online to opening the physical studio that you're both sitting in today?
Yeah, it was, we had spoken about a studio sort of when we had launched our online studio, and it kind of always, it was just a conversation, and we both really love, you know, in-person classes. So it would be something that we had spoken about that we'd love to offer. It wasn't until the place that we used where Ham was filming, we could no longer use that space anymore. And we were on the hunt for a space of our own that we could, you know, really utilize and make it our own. So Han could film a lot of classes. We release new classes every week, so we're filming quite frequently. So we were on the hunt for a space, and then we were just like, you know, if we're going to invest in a space, why not make the most of it and create a studio? So it was, again, really organic and natural. And I've lived in Sorrento for around 7 or 8 years, and there's just no high quality Pilates in Sorrento that, you know, that was around. So it was really like a gap in the market down here as well. So it was sort of, you know, ticking a box for us of a dream that we wanted, and also really bringing something to the Sorrento community that they just didn't have. And it's been amazing. The studio, we're just so in love with it. We work here when there's no classes on. And yeah, we've got a heavy timetable. It's obviously a seasonal town, so we've got ebbs and flows in, you know, clients coming in, but it's been incredible. It is an entirely, although under our Pilates umbrella, it is a completely separate business. Like nothing about the two businesses are the same, other than the two of us kind of behind them. Some of our instructors now teach on our online platform as well, but it's been a completely and utterly new experience and learning of staff and, you know, all the things that come with a front-facing business. But yeah, it's been amazing. It's been really good.
It's been really nice to have a team as well. Like our instructors are all amazing in teachers, but they're just great people as well. So that's been really fun to have that team. And I personally really enjoy doing training sessions with them and catching up with them. I'm really excited to come in and finally do a class as well. Since we launched, I was sort of too pregnant, and then I just can't really get away from Darcy at the moment. But yeah, soon I will be in here using the space as well. So no, it's added a whole new element to the business, but a really enjoyable one, and it's been great since the get-go. Yeah.
And even though they are completely separate businesses, I do feel like our physical studio has brought so much personality and life to our digital platform, which has been really important. I think when, you know, everything's online, we try and have our classes feel really personal and really direct, and make the person who's watching the class feel like they're in a studio. But, you know, you don't naturally get that warmth that you do get in a studio. But I think having this presence has really kind of put a bit of life to what people see online, which has been really valuable for our community as well.
Absolutely. It's so beautiful. Just that connection piece, the community, the in-person offering, it really brings a whole nother element to it. And I know we have many aspiring Pilates teachers, studio owners in the audience. So the question I imagine is on many people's lips is, what are really the biggest lessons and challenges that you've faced in this in-person offering, in creating your own studio, whether that be staff, equipment, finding a location? What have been some really key challenges for you?
So it's different because there's obviously a physical client-facing space that needs to look perfect. Well, we think
perfect.
It has to be perfect. It has to be the right temperature. The music has to work. It has to be clean. There's all these elements that you don't need to consider with online. So, you know, the challenges with online sort of almost don't exist with there's sometimes tech stuff with the booking system and that, but a lot of it's like the internet's dropped out, so the music won't work today, you know, things like that. Or we've had a few people complain that it's too hot, so quick, we need fans, like those kind of more instant, you know, it's having an effect right now, it needs to be actioned. Staffing, I think we've been really, really lucky. Our staff are fantastic, but you know, you've got to create a culture and you've got to make sure that your staff are looked after and happy and feeling valued and enjoying showing up to work. So, and naturally, I'm sure a lot of the people on this call, you know, you want to be developing your skills as well. So when you work in a studio and you show up and you run your classes and you leave and you don't interact with any other instructors, so we need to run training days and catch ups so that they are interacting with each other and learning new skills. And so there's the teamwork side of it as well. What else?
Yeah, I feel like we have been pretty lucky in terms of the way that the studio has evolved. And as much as had said moments where we'll get a call at 5 a.m. that the door's not locking or someone can't get in, or the music's not working, little things that you kind of have to navigate on a daily basis, I would probably say are just the hardest things, because you can't foresee this, you can't plan for it. You know, Han lives over half an hour away. I'm lucky that I'm just around the corner. But I just think, you know, when we are relying on external people and our team are incredible, there's always going to be challenges, and you sort of just have to be, you know, around the corner and available to be here should the studio need us. And, you know, with kids, again, that's probably the biggest challenge, is not being able to, with the girls, there was an issue with the Sonos yesterday, and I couldn't leave my son to come in and try and fix it. And I think that's just, you know, letting go a little bit. And we're both perfectionists. We want things to be perfect. We want our clients to have the best experiences when they come in here. So I think, yeah, it's just navigating all of those little things, probably being kinder to ourselves as well, and realizing that things aren't always perfect, and realizing that that's okay. And as long as we're, you know, if something does go wrong, making sure that our clients are, you know, feeling supported, or if they need something, and kind of just trying to nurture them and their experience as well is really important. But yeah, I feel like there's been a lot of challenges and a lot of lessons, particularly with online. You know, we've made a few mistakes there and invested money in things that we shouldn't have, and you know, a few mistakes, which is natural in any business. But yeah, we've been really lucky, I think, with the studio. It's really, I think we love our space. We love the beds that we've invested in. We love our team. So yeah, it's been a really enjoyable experience with a couple of hurdles, but nothing significant.
I was really nervous actually opening while pregnant, because normally I would have wanted to run a fair chunk of the classes as we were opening and starting out. I would have personally preferred to have become kind of the face of the studio, but it just wasn't an option. And so it's been good for me to have to be okay with the fact that it's not just me, because it you know, for a long time was just me online. And I think variety of skills, but also just of how different teachers choose to instruct their classes, their different vibe, I guess, is a real a strong point, because people gravitate to all different types. So if you've got a really uniform style or teacher at your studio, you're only going to be appealing to the person that likes that teacher. So I think variety is a good thing, not a bad thing. Yeah,
for sure. And it feels like that sort of echoes across every aspect of your business. You know, you have the diversity between you two, and that comes across in your team, and it really makes it accessible and inclusive for so many different people who can resonate with different parts of our Pilates experience.
Yeah.
And I would love to know, and we would all love to know, I'm sure, what is next for Our Pilates? You have your online offering, your studio. What's coming up next?
A few things.
So we've got, well, like something that we're working on right now is a new challenge. We are working on adding new programs as well. So we have over 350 classes now filmed, which is amazing. But we also are aware that that can be really overwhelming. So if you log in and there's just this enormous library of classes and you don't really know where to go, you might close the lid and not do a class. So trying to give people as many kind of progressive programs and challenges and just things where you don't have to think. You don't have to make a choice. All you have to do is choose kind of the goal that you're working towards, and the program will take you there. More recipes. We're looking at really building out the nutrition side of the platform as well as the educational components. So getting more and more blogs from a wide variety of health professionals, not just me.
And more community events. I think that's a big focus for us this year, is like engaging with our community more front facing. We love being able to come in here and see our, our Sorrento clients, but having the ability to interact with our digital clients, our online clients, is really important as well. And we've done a few in the past, but it's just with the two of us, it's kind of hard to sort of execute. So that's a huge focus this year, is some more community events, meeting our online members, nurturing them, making them feel valued, making them feel part of a team. But maybe a new app coming soon. I probably shouldn't say that because it's a work in progress, but there's always technical things that we can develop on, which is really exciting. I think, we have just thought big from the very, very, very beginning. So every time we sit down and, we throw ideas around, we've got a big marketing meeting on Monday, and we just sort of feel like the opportunities for us and our Pilates are endless, and we're just so excited for what the future holds. And who knows? Anything's around the corner, really.
Oh, we have some incredible things in store and coming up, so that people can follow along, come along on the journey. Do you want to just let us know where we can find you, both in person, online, socials?
Yeah, sure. Our website is www.ourpilates.com.au. You can find us on Instagram. Our handle is @ourpilates. If you want to come to Sorrento, please do. Our Pilates Instagram is ourpilates.studio. And the two of us as well, Brooke Hogan, I am on Instagram, and Hannah McKimm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And is there anything else you would like to share before we wrap up?
No, just want to thank you guys for having us, and I hope that everyone enjoyed it and got something out of it. We are so happy to always answer any questions. We actually get a lot of DMs from Han asking about, guidance or any questions about the studio or online. So we are an open book. We want to connect with as many like-minded women as possible. I don't know how, or if it's possible, we'd love to kind of get as many people to try our online platform. We're always open to feedback. So
and I think just for anyone who's either recently graduated or starting their Pilates training, my recommendation is just get to as many different classes as you can. Try some clinical classes, try fitness classes, try hot classes, reformer classes, and also yoga. I've learned so much through doing yoga and other styles of exercise as well, because I think every instructor has a different take, and you might learn a cue that you've never heard before, or a transition from one move to the next that just makes sense for your body. And I think just exposing yourself to as many different styles of teaching is the best thing that you can possibly do. So get out there and get to some classes.
Come to our Pilates.
Come to our
Yes. That's such beautiful advice. And especially for anyone who's, recently done the Pilates teacher training, maybe graduates, the app is a beautiful place to do your practice hours as well, for those observation hours. And you did mention you're very happy to answer any questions. I've seen a lot coming through on the chat, so maybe we'll go through those afterwards and we can just pick out what's coming up, what's common, what everyone wants to know, and touch base with you both to maybe answer any lingering questions that we need to know the answers to.
We'd love that.
Love to.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Hannah and Brooke, for joining us. And thank you to our incredible Unite Health community for being here. As I said at the start, for anyone who missed it, the winner of the free Pilates course place will be announced tomorrow. So keep an eye on your emails. Make sure you're following Unite Health and our Pilates. And if you do not win the grand prize, we are also offering $250 off for everyone who is here using the code OurPilates250. So that will be in your inbox tomorrow morning as well. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a beautiful evening. Thank you so much, Brooke and Han, again, and we really appreciate your time.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.
Please stay on.